We already know that youth turnout in this election was something that the president depended on to see his to get the growth that he needed to do to win this election. That's how he flipped states like Virginia. That's how he flipped states like Colorado. That's how the president won this map. It was because young people, college students, millennials turned out for the president in record number. But the problem still remains the same, ladies and gentlemen, that even though young people turned out for the president, it's not enough for the president just to, make sure that we can go back on our parents' health care insurance. It's not enough for the president to say to not double our rates. Young people want a seat at the table. Millennials want a seat at the table. We're in a few groups in America, a voting bloc that does not have a seat at the decision-making table. Joining me is Alex Wirth. He's the chair of the campaign for a presidential youth council. And he's a good friend of mine. We've talked about this before, and I'm so happy we could get him on to talk about the importance of a presidential youth council. Alex, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Richard. I'm really excited to be on the show tonight.
Oh, I think you're doing some noble work, and I think, it would be wrong of the Richard Fowler show, the youngest syndicated show in the country, not to have and not to support a presidential youth council. It just would.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate it, and I'm actually excited to have a little bit of a chance to talk with you about it.
Yes. Now tell me, what? Well, we'll talk about the stumbling blocks. We'll deal with the negative. We'll deal with the positive first. Let's talk about the positive first. What is the Presidential Youth Council, and what will it do?
So what we've done is we've taken a model that's in 400 cities across the United States, at 20 states at statewide level, and our simple proposition is to take this proven local model and bring it to the national level. It would be a council of 24 young people, ages 16 to 24, who represent both sides of the aisle and both sides of political perspective, and they would take on three major tasks. The first off is simply to collect and share the views of the 104 million Americans that are under the age of 24 and share them with the president, with policymakers, and with average ordinary citizens by analyzing polling data, doing listening sessions across the country, and using new media technologies to talk with their friends and find out really what are the issues that matter. The second thing it would do is simply serve as a sounding board for federal policymakers on the design and implementation of youth policies. The idea being that when a program is being created for young people, when a policy is being designed, policymakers, whether or not they're members of Congress, whether or not they're members of the administration, should at least have a group of young people that they can go to talk to about those policies. Why is this important? Well, it makes government more efficient and more effective because young people know what they need and what they don't need. One of my favorite examples of this is from the city of Hampton, Virginia, where young people saved the city $100,000 simply by saying they didn't want a fancy new playground, but simply wanted a big pile of sand that they want to play in. So it's examples like those that show that we can make the federal government more efficient and more effective. And then the last thing that the Presidential Youth Council would do, and the one that really gets me the most excited and I think is the most important, is start looking at issues that affect the long-term future of the country. And every single year we would ask the Presidential Youth Council to take on one of those major issues and issue a set of bipartisan solutions that look at that issue from the perspective of our generation. So maybe it's the environment, maybe it's the deficit, maybe it's education reform. So it's all these issues that aren't being talked about that really are going to have a large effect on our generation. And so the idea is how can we bring that to the forefront and at least start putting out some solutions and also raising a discussion on those issues.
Now, talking about raising a discussion on those issues, will this youth council deal with some of the pressing issues that face young people, like the student loan debt crisis, the lack of youth unemployment? Is that going to be part of the conversation, or will it just sort of be at the lead of the president when it comes to developing policy and creating initiatives and the like?
No, and that's the entire great thing about this council is that we are really asking young people to come to the table and create a set of recommendations for the president and tell the president what young people are saying. So this is in no way going to be a tool to push out the president's propaganda, but what it is going to be a tool for is so for the president as well as citizens all across the United States to hear about those issues that really matter to young people because they're important, they're having a huge effect on all of our lives, and we need to make sure that the folks in Washington are hearing about those. And so that's the purpose that it would serve.
We're talking with Alex Wirth, the chair of the campaign for the Presidential Youth Council. Now, Alex, there's been a lot of clearly, there's stumbling blocks to getting this council in place, and I think this council is a great ideal. And I would hope, from my end, and I think for a lot of progressives out there, that we expand that age to sort of include beyond the 16 to 24 to talk about our 28s and 29s and 30s. I think they're also left out of the conversation in Washington. But beyond that fact, what is it, besides getting the petition going, what have you spoken with the White House? Where are you guys in the process of, getting this issue to the forefront?
Of course. So we asked and had the White House Council for Community Solutions come out last June in their final report to President Obama and endorse and recommend the creation of a council. In the beginning of August, Congressman John Larson, who at the time was the chair of the House Democratic Caucus, joined Congressman John Shimkus, a Republican out of Illinois, and along with 5 other members of Congress to call for the creation of a presidential youth council. This December, we had Senator Tom Udall author a resolution for us in the Senate that was co-sponsored by Senator Scott Brown with 4 other members of the Senate calling for a presidential youth council. So we've seen a lot of support increasing coming from policymakers and decision makers in Washington, and we're really excited about that. We've engaged in a series of discussions with the administration, had a pretty positive response to them. I think the big stumbling block that's always coming up is there the money to do this? And, right now in Washington, the budgets are so tight everywhere. It's about finding, where is the possibility for the money, and this is why we're calling for this council to be privately funded. And so I think things are looking pretty positive if we can shore up the private funding and show that both, influential individuals as well as corporations and foundations care about the voices of young people.
Now, the interesting thing about this is we've seen commissions or councils of the president on pretty much everything. There's one for women and girls. There's one for returning veterans. There's one for job competitiveness, which has been in the news recently. But we really have never seen the White House or for that matter, any White House take a stand on youth issues and creating a committee that only deals with issues that affect young people in America.
And you're entirely correct in that. According to the research that I've done, there's never really been anything like it. The only one, there was a National Youth Congress under President Roosevelt that Eleanor Roosevelt was actually fairly involved in, but that was dissolved, and there hasn't been anything since. Of course, the White House in about 2009, 2010 did a series of youth roundtable initiatives. They put in the first ever liaison to young Americans, Calvin Modi, now served by Ronnie Cho. And so they've made some steps, and I think we've seen a tremendous kind of push in the first administration to start, talking more to young people. Secretary of Education Arnie Duncan does a weekly or a monthly series where he sits down with a different group of young leaders. But what Washington is really missing is a place for kind of to institutionalize that youth voice and really make sure that they're always at the policy table and policymakers have a place to go to. And that's where we have the only policy proposal to do that. And that's the idea that we're pushing, is that this can't simply be a one-time thing. This needs to be a year-round engagement of the next generation.
Now, what are you guys doing to make sure that this gets to the forefront? We know you guys have a petition on the White House website, which folks can go to whitehouse.com/ I think it's petitions and find it there.
Yes, so we are actually not pushing a petition on the White House website. There is one. We've seen a lot of spontaneity come up. Boys and Girls Club is pushing a petition for a teen advisory committee. There's one that was independently created on the White House website. So if folks want to find out more, they can go to presidentialyouthcouncil.org and sign up to be a member of our mailing list. What we are focused on immediately in the next couple of months is telling more of the stories of amazing young people who are doing change in their local communities through government. And so we're going to be profiling youth councils across the country, handing out some recognition to some amazing young leaders to show that young people really do have innovative ideas that can make government more efficient and more effective. And then we're going to continue working with the administration, and the primary focus of that is going to be figuring out where we can get the money from to make this council a reality.
Well, Alex, listen, anybody who's a friend to the president, the campaign to get a President's Youth Council, a friend to us, and we want to also acknowledge some of those young people. So you send them our way.
Of course. I will make sure to.
Now tell me, so beyond getting involved there, how can folks find you guys on Twitter, on Facebook? I'm pretty sure this is a social media driven movement because it is youth, quote unquote. How can people sort of find out more?
Of course. So we use the Youth Voices hashtag on Twitter. looking to promote a wide variety of stories. Hashtag Youth Voices. Our Twitter handle is @GovForYouth. And you can find out more of the conversation that's happening on there. I think we're going to look to have a Twitter chat in the next couple of weeks with a series of different youth voice organizations all coming together in collaboration to talk about these important issues. And then if you search Presidential Youth Council on Facebook, our Facebook page will come up. And there's a lot of shareable graphics on there and also a timeline of our campaigns. You can kind of see the progress we've made and the steps we have taken to make this a reality.
Well, Alex, you're surely doing great work for the young people all across this country. And on behalf of those young people, I want to tell you, thank you, even though I'm 2 years above the cap to be part of this youth council. I think it's something that's very valuable, something we need to have in our community. I appreciate you being on the show tonight.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me, and I really appreciate your support as well.
Oh, you're welcome. Anything we could do to help young people get a voice in Washington, it's about darn time.